Hey, what's up, phone lovers? Welcome to the Mobile Roar podcast, the week of May 25th, 2017. I'm Joe Fidua.
And I'm Chris Chavez.
Long time no see.
It's been so long. Oh, man. And there's been
But at least we're still in May. I mean, our last episode was May
That's
9th, so
barely.
at least we are still the same month. Yeah, a lot has happened since we last recorded. And I think probably, obviously, the biggest thing is Google I/O.
A little event.
Actually, I mean, there was a lot of stuff from I/O, but it wasn't like a super exciting show.
Not at all. No.
It was kind of just like, and I don't even think that's a bad thing because it is a developer conference. So it really shouldn't be like super exciting.
Yeah.
Like hardware and all this stuff that sometimes we get.
But still some pretty cool stuff to come out of it, though.
For sure.
If you're looking.
So I got a list here, 10 biggest announcements from Google I/O. We'll just run through this. I think probably the coolest thing that they showed off, at least in my opinion, was Google Lens.
Ooh, yeah. They're bringing back, what is it? They used to have something back in the Google Goggles.
Oh my gosh. I felt old because I referenced Google Goggles in my article and someone in the comments was like, Google Goggles, what was that?
Never heard of it.
Yeah. So if you are someone who didn't know what Google Goggles was, Google Lens is like a new version of that. And basically all it was you like take a picture of something and then Google does some magic and would identify it. And Google Goggles worked like all right.
Yeah.
But that was like before they had all this machine learning and stuff like that.
AI and machine learning and all that smarts.
Yeah. So obviously it's a lot better now.
Why not just call it Google Goggles again? Google Goggles Part 2 or something. Does Lens sound better than, I guess maybe it does.
I was surprised Google Goggles is actually still in the Play Store.
Oh, yeah.
Should do a comparison when they come out.
Does it even work? It functions?
But yeah, so Google Lens is basically like adding eyes to Google Assistant. Pretty much. You hold your phone up and scan stuff and it works with Google Assistant, and Google Assistant can like identify stuff. You can like hold it up when you're out like on the street at a business and it will like scan the business front and show you like, you know, the Google Maps page for that business. So you get like reviews and stuff like that. What else did they show? Oh, they took a picture of like a it was like a thing on your router that has like your password, and somehow it like automatically knew that was the password and signed you into the Wi-Fi. I don't know if you saw that.
That was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, because usually, I mean, we've all seen like, there's like a thing called Layer back in the day, and it like put augmented reality in front of, you could look at businesses and listings, and it would all be a cool augmented reality. That stuff is cool. We've seen that before. We've seen like Snapchat AR stuff, but like being able to like do stuff by like looking through your camera, like the whole connecting to Wi-Fi, recognizing it, like that is like to me the more interesting part. Like that seems really, really cool. I was kind of blown away by that. I was like, holy crap, that's awesome. So it's definitely smarter than when like what we've seen with like Google Goggles or like Bixby, stuff like that.
I'm excited to just have like this stuff built in because, you know, QR codes is something that's been around for a while that you can like scan with your camera, but you need a special app. You know, you need like an actual QR code app. There have been so many times where I've seen a QR code and it's like, oh, I should scan that. But then I'm like, oh, I got to download an app. I'm not gonna do it.
I mean, there are some phones that have it, like all the Moto's phones, they have QR code scanning built in, which is really cool. And I thought that would be like a thing to take off. They've had it for a pretty long time now, but I haven't seen it yet. And I can't, off the top of my head, I don't think any other manufacturers are doing QR code. I think maybe Bixby. Does Bixby recognize QR codes?
Like Bixby Vision?
Yeah, the Bixby Vision thing. I don't think maybe it does, but I mean, that's kind of a big, kind of sucky. But
someone actually just asked in our live chat, is Bixby dead now that Google Lens is going to be a thing?
I mean, that's always the Samsung. The Samsung thing is always make their own version of some sort of Google service. So Bixby originally was supposed to be sort of Samsung's answer to Google Assistant. And then they were like, well, we got Bixby Vision that identifies products and can do searches. And I mean, they're not leveraging the power. Like nobody can compete with Google in this space. Like you don't have all the machine learning stuff. You don't have all the algorithms. You don't have all this like image search stuff capabilities that Google has. Google knows they know everything. They're scary good at this stuff. So like,
have you tried Bixby Vision very much?
I tried it on just like random stuff, like some phones. It always thinks it's like an iPhone. I tried it on other things where it just didn't know. But yeah, I haven't really been too successful with it identifying a specific thing.
And even when it does, it's not that useful. It's like if it identifies something, all it gives you is image results and shopping results.
Yeah. So it's like, I don't know. I would like to pull up maybe like a product page or like I don't know, maybe like an official,
like a Google search of the thing.
Of what it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like the Wikipedia like information on it. It's just it's super half baked. Like
yeah, and
like
the assistant part of it's
raw.
not even available.
Yeah, not yet. So
nobody
can really
dead? I guess I would say it's not even alive yet.
It's
DOA. It hasn't even launched really, so it can't crash yet.
Yeah, it's still a baby, so
all right, so there was some Google Photos stuff, and I know you like Google Photos, so you're probably excited about some of this. The suggested sharing thing I thought was pretty cool. So basically what it does, it's like, you go to a party or something and everyone's taking pictures and you never get those pictures from people. So many companies have tried to solve this problem, and now Google is going to try to solve it. So what they do is it makes it easier for you to share photos with people that were at the event. It like uses their machine learning, which we're going to say a million times, to identify people in the photos, and then it will like group all those photos together so you can send them to that person.
Pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And then shared libraries uses like the same thing. So the example they use is say you have some kids and you're married, whatever, and you want any photo of your kid to automatically be shared with your wife or your husband. It will use machine learning. It'll know that, hey, this is a photo of your kid, and it will make that photo available to your spouse to view.
That sounds, I don't know, man. That's going to open up a can of worms. Like, imagine little Timmy's out and he's getting high with his friends, and like he doesn't want his parents to know. And that photo, he's going to take a photo of like trying to look cool, West Side, and it's going to upload to his parents. Like,
well, that would be little Timmy's own fault because he shouldn't make his photos available to his parents like that.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, like it seems, I probably have to play around with it a bit, but it just seems like there's going to be a lot of accidental weirdness with that.
Yeah. I mean, it's. I'm sure it's not going to work perfectly. You're going to like take a picture of a poster or like a toy, and it's going to be like, oh, that's your kid, and send it to your wife or something. Yeah.
True.
Okay, Google Home hands-free calling. I thought this was pretty cool. So you will soon be able to just say to Google Home that phrase, which I will not repeat right now because a million devices will go off. Call my mom, and then Google Home will automatically call that person from your phone. Google Home will turn into a speaker, and you will just be able to have a conversation just with Google Home, just like you would on your phone, but you don't have to touch your phone.
Easily should have been a launch feature. Like this, it's kind of weird how this didn't launch with it, but I mean that's I guess neither here nor there, but pretty darn cool feature. Like that's really nice. To have an automated or just like a phone always waiting for your voice commands, and you can just call someone on a whim. That's great. It's awesome.
Yeah, they added a bunch of stuff to Google Home that was like this should have been there at launch.
Yeah. A lot of stuff, actually, because I mean, Google Home itself was a little bit early and very beta, and it relied on Google Assistant, which was very early, very beta. So they're finally like polishing it and refining it, and now we're finally seeing like that actual vision of what Google Home was supposed to be. Now I almost kind of want one a little bit.
Yeah, I've actually been thinking about that too. It's like, okay, now, because one of the things they added was you can actually do reminders on it finally.
That is awesome. That's actually mind blowing that it wasn't. It was one of the things you could, because you could do it on your phone, right? Like Google Assistant worked fine with it on your phone, and then it just didn't do it when you told the speaker. I would have loved to hear like an explanation on why it just wasn't possible or something.
For sure, yeah.
It's so strange.
All right. So Google Home also visual response. This is another new thing. So if you have like a TV hooked up to your Google Home, an Android TV or a Chromecast, obviously, you can get answers to your queries on the TV. So you could say like, show me my calendar on the TV. And then it would just boop, pop up on the TV. There's your calendar.
So awesome.
Yeah.
I think when is that coming out? Like, because that's super cool.
Yeah.
That's one of the reasons I don't like Google Assistant. I mean, like a Google Home thing is because it's like I'm very visual. Like I can't just hear like, oh, you have this coming up, and I'm like, I've already forgotten it. Like in one ear, out the other. But if it's like on the TV or something, just like boop, little calendar stuff, like that would be really cool. Super awesome.
And it can show like your weather on the TV too. Assistant's supposed to be coming to Android TV pretty soon. Just
that's gonna be great
on the TV itself anyway. So
yeah, I always wished like Chromecast would do that and that they would do more stuff with like backdrops and stuff. But all they do now is just show you like pictures of food and awesome, beautiful locations, locales. And I'm like, why can't you guys just show me my damn calendar? Just have it up there and I can just leave it on and you can, I don't know. Jeez.
Yeah, they could do so much more useful stuff with that backdrop. I cannot believe that this was not a Google Home feature. Like this kind of blew my mind. This next thing, Google Home Bluetooth streaming. Apparently, you could not just use the Google Home as like just a dumb Bluetooth speaker.
I thought that was the whole point. But I mean, you
have to cast stuff to it.
Yeah, you would cast the music to it.
So like if you had an app that didn't support casting, like a music app, you couldn't just connect to Google Home like a speaker and play it. Which is weird. Insane to me.
So weird.
Weren't you tweeting once about like Spotify? Wait, no, you don't have a Google Home. What were you talking about on Twitter? Like Spotify.
What were you complaining about on Twitter?
Yeah. I thought I could have swore you were talking about Spotify not being supported by. Oh, I know what it was. Was it Android TV?
It was Android TV. Yeah, and they recently just added it probably after my complaint, but no. They just barely recently added it, and I'm like, gosh dang, finally. It was so weird because it was on older versions, but not the newer version. But yeah, so like if you take this little Bluetooth, like Google Home, say you're gonna pack it and take it with you someplace. If you didn't have a network connection, then you were screwed, right? You couldn't.
Yeah, it would do nothing. You
couldn't cast to it. So you would try, yeah. I mean, this kind of opens up, I mean, it doesn't have battery in it, right? So like, it's still limited because you'd have to plug it in someplace. But like maybe you have it out in the backyard and your Wi-Fi connection's spotty and you're like,
yeah,
man, I wish I could just Bluetooth connect to this and stream my music that way. So that's nice.
For sure. Another thing that was surprisingly not available at launch for a Google product, keyboard in Google Assistant.
Oh yeah.
You can actually just type your questions now.
Yeah. So if you don't want to, if you feel like an idiot every time you're trying to speak commands like quietly into your phone when you're out in public, now you can just type them in. Like, hello.
See, I never really understood this because can't you just use like the Google search to do a lot of this stuff? Like I know if you want to, like I've done a lot of times to set a reminder for myself. I don't want to speak it out loud. I'll just type into the Google search bar, set a reminder.
This is where it's kind of weird with Google Assistant and Google search is like they overlap a lot. So there's like a lot of weird stuff that they're trying to do in Google search. Remember, I think we talked about it before with all the different voice commands you could do with Google voice search. And the commands like turn on my Wi-Fi, turn off my Wi-Fi, and it's like, oh, that's also a Google Assistant. So they're kind of like the one and the same, I feel like. But like with the long pressing of the home button and stuff, that's supposed to be like super easy with the Assistant. Is that, that's now the remapped home button is Google Assistant. So like for me, for me to do a Google search, I would have to I guess go up and tap the little Google search thing and then type it in there. Yeah, I mean, I guess it's somewhat similar, but I feel like Google Assistant is going to take over everything soon enough. So
Yeah, that's probably true.
I maybe they'll remove these features from just the Google search thing because they just want it to be like just Google search or something in the future. I don't know. We'll see.
Next couple of things are not terribly exciting. Standalone Daydream VR headsets. I don't know if Google Daydream is really taking off or if people are excited about this.
There's people that really love VR and they think it's going to be really cool, but we'll have to see. For me, I think I would rather have a standalone headset. So like Google didn't really reveal their own. They're not really making one. They just opened it up so that other manufacturers and stuff can finally make one. And I think that's kind of a little bit more exciting because I don't like putting my phone. The one thing I hated about Google Daydream was putting my giant heavy Pixel XL. It's like top heavy, like pushing down on your nose, and then your phone is like going thermonuclear, so it'd have to like hook it into like a battery pack, and I'm like tapped into the matrix, and it's like, I don't know, it's just so clunky and weird. I think like a standalone headset would actually be kind of cool. So, but
yeah, it's definitely better. Just depends on like how expensive it is, because when you start having the standalone ones, the price goes up real fast.
It's gonna need an integrated display. You're gonna need some kind of Snapdragon or NVIDIA processor or something to handle all that, and then you probably have to be tethered to something for power. And
it's crazy because the ones that use a phone, like the Gear VR, I have the Gear VR with the Galaxy S8, and I was, showing one of my friends this thing, and he has the Oculus Rift, which is like the super expensive, needs a high quality PC, but yet the Gear VR with the Galaxy S8 has a higher resolution display than the Oculus Rift because it's using the Galaxy S8 with a 4K display.
Yeah,
kind of crazy to think about, but
yeah, but I mean, like performance wise, it's apples to oranges or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the last little thing here, Smart Reply for Gmail. I've never used Smart Reply, but it's there now.
And it's kind of annoying a little bit. The only time I ever use Smart Reply is in Allo, Google Allo, which I actually do use with my family. And it's just like, I can always tell when my mom or my sister is using a Smart Reply because I'm like, don't you auto reply me? What are you doing over there? And they just like,
I feel like I would actually use it in a messenger, but like it just seems so impersonal in email. Like to send someone
thanks.
Yeah, to send someone a 3-word response in an email is just kind of stupid.
Yeah,
like you need to write more or just not even bother.
Exactly, don't even bother responding. But as far as Google Assistant stuff, I think we missed it, but it's coming. They've opened it up. Google has opened it up. So before we transition away from Google Assistant, they said they've opened it up to like other devices and other things, and developers can now implement it in their own products. So someone could potentially release like who is it? Logitech with their UE boom speaker. Someone could inject Google Assistant into that. So now we can see probably a ton of products that have Google Assistant built in. And they said like on the box, it'll say like Google Assistant built in or whatever. And that's
really exciting. Cool.
Yeah. Really, really cool. So now you don't have to be.
Sorry.
Oh no, I was gonna say now you don't have to just worry about only Google Home or just picking up a Google Home, because I would like to see something with a battery that you can take around with you and kind of do something with that. But all kind like that's just it's great. It's great.
That's one of the cool things about Alexa, is like Alexa is in so many different devices. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like I was super surprised to see how on board everyone was with Amazon Alexa. It was such an odd thing. But yeah, now it's going to finally, I think we'll see that with Google Assistant.
And like, it's a win-win for Google because obviously all they ever want people to do is to do more Google searches.
Yep.
So yeah. Oh, speaking of, you mentioned Allo. That was not present at Google I/O
Uh,
whatsoever.
uh, I hope it. I mean, is it going to die? I don't know.
As soon
I
as you
have so
get
many
everyone in
complaints
your
with it.
life on it, it will be discontinued.
I don't know if we talked about it because it's been a long time since we podcasted, but they recently introduced the ability to back up your chats and like transfer them. I don't know if we ever talked about it, but like it's so weird in the way it works. So like if you normally when you would sign into a new device, you just start fresh. But now they have the ability to back up. You can go into it and tap like backup on the settings, and then it backs up all your chats and like the media from your chats that people have shared, gifs and all that stuff. It backs them up to Google Drive, and then when you sign in on your new device, Allo is no longer available on your old device, and then it transfers all over like all those gifs and everything, and the conversations to your new phone, and you got to wait for it to restore, and it's just like a. It feels weird. It feels
It's
oddly like
stupid.
it feels like 2009. Like this would have been
Yes.
cool back in the day when I was doing titanium backups and you had to like back up your SMS messages and all this weird stuff. But like I'm so not used to having to put the effort into doing and thinking about and reminding myself to do something weird like this. It's
Yeah, I
so dumb.
don't like
So,
Allo is one of the most just like perplexing products. You have Hangouts that just sync stuff
you have it.
magically, and Allo
Uh,
can't do that. Why?
there's no cloud. There's no cloud at all. So like, even when you share messages, maybe it's a security feature. It's like peer to peer, and it's like faster or whatever. But like, there's no cloud. So even when you share like photos and videos, you're not uploading them to the cloud and then people streaming them from the cloud. You're literally directly sending these videos and gifs to people. It has to download onto their device, and it's
Yeah.
like there's no cloud involved. It's so weird because I mean you have what is it like Messenger? Facebook Messenger handles all this perfectly fine. I mean you can go into your media, you can sign in on multiple devices. I think there's like a limit, and then it signs you
Well,
out of
Facebook
like your old.
Messenger is the same as Hangouts. It's constantly syncing to the
Yeah,
cloud.
and I mean, and you can jump on any device. You can jump on your computer. You can do whatever. You can see all the media that you've like your friends have shared. You can go back into a history of the conversation. I mean, it's just
Even if they
I'm
don't
not doing
want
this.
to go the Hangouts method and sync it to the cloud constantly, I feel like I mean, they're Google. There's a smarter way to do this. Like you could do it the exact same way like they're doing it now. Like you said, it was backed up to Google Drive, right?
Yeah,
So why don't they just automatically know that you have an Allo backup on Google Drive and sync that?
I think it's
Like
a
when you sign into a new device and it shuts down your old Allo,
yeah,
it
and then
should
just
just automatically
automatically do it.
know,
Yeah,
oh, look for this Google
well,
Drive backup, get it.
I think it's a security thing and like a privacy thing, and people don't like it was the whole like when they released Allo, it was like back when everyone was trying to do like encryption with messaging, and people were getting all pissed off because Google Allo didn't encrypt stuff, and then they had like the incognito chats, and then like it's I think it's really like a privacy thing, and they just want to make sure like they're very forthright and like
Yeah.
transparent on what they're doing, and like, oh, you want to back up? Then okay, go for it. Here you go. And like, you can't get mad at us for it. And it's like, it's weird. I mean, I think it's really like handicapping like the product, and it sucks because I just feel like
Allo
I feel like there's a better way. I would love just if they just really focused on Hangouts and just give me a better Hangouts, man. It's sad.
Allo is just a lot like Google Home, where they released it prematurely and they've slowly added features to it that are making it better. But they burnt me so bad when it just came out
Yeah,
that I'm like, I don't
there's so
care.
many people like that. Yeah, like they're already going to dismiss it because they're like, no, aloe's trash. I tried it. Like no one's going to go back after they saw that it sucked at one point. I mean, it's really not smart. The smartest way to handle it.
Yeah, it just seems like Google doesn't realize that first impressions are super important.
Yes, especially with applications. Yes, and messaging and all that.
All right, let's talk about Android. Oh, they finally made the beta available at Google I/O. So now instead of installing like all this crazy stuff on your computer and doing it the hard way, which isn't that hard if you know what you're doing, you can just download the beta, which is super easy. Do you have it on any devices, Chris?
I have it on my Pixel.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I got it on my Nexus 5X the other day. It's pretty stable.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I feel like there's a lot of features. There's a lot of stuff that they talked about in Google, the other features that are coming to Android Auto that aren't really fully enabled. And it's kind of it's really stable though. Like for what it is, it's kind of I have a feeling there's going to be lots of more new stuff that they're going to add later. But like as it is right now, I know I like the way they're doing it. It's like a good foundation, and I haven't had really any bugs, no reboots, nothing that's really acting super weird. It's like it's surprisingly really stable. I like the fact that they did the whole alpha version before the beta, so they kind of probably worked out some of those kinks and stuff.
Right. It seems like the thing people are talking about the most is just the new emojis.
There's lots new. You can what is it like
Yeah, there's a
snooze
lot of new stuff.
snooze notifications, which is kind of nice.
That was there
Um,
on the original developer preview.
and then there's let me see. So let's see what's new with just this beta version. There's the dots.
Notification dots are new.
Yeah, the dots, which
Yeah.
is they're kind of to me they're kind of pointless. I would rather them be more like if they give you more granular control over them, like the way it is with iOS, where you can select some apps to have the notification dot or some apps to show just notifications. Like that would be way better because I love that in iOS. It's actually one of my favorite features, and it's like in iOS you can clear all your notifications, but until you open the app and like check the notification, the little dot will still be there and it tells you how many missed, how many new notifications you have from that app. So it's like I feel like notification for some people like you and me would probably just clear out all of our notifications all the time.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of people that get overwhelmed with them. So like my girlfriend in particular has probably like 1,500, and there's so many that like she can't even like deal with them. So it would be great to be able to clear all of her notifications, but still see on the apps, the icons themselves, which apps have notifications so that she can go into them and check them out
Yeah.
when she needs
The
to.
way it is, the way they have it now, it's tied right to the
Yeah.
notification in
So
the shade.
clear it and then it clears from the thing.
Yeah.
But
The cool thing though is that if you long press on the app
yeah.
icon, it'll show you a little pop-up with that notification, and then you could go right to the notification from there.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think it's still early. And I know Google talked about how they still have big plans for the notification system in Android O and stuff. So we'll have to see. What was the other stuff that they had? There was some other notification.
There's another thing with the long press that it will like, for some apps, it'll show you can go to the widgets.
Yeah. Super cool. I like that because a lot of times you forget that some apps even have widgets. And I hate the widget thing. And you have to scroll through this long list trying to find the apps, but then sometimes it's not listed by apps, it's listed by function. So then you're looking for something, you're not sure what the widget's actually called. I hate the widget menu right now on Android. So this is way better because it's just tied directly to that app icon, and you can just long press and see what widgets are available.
Awesome. Picture-in-picture isn't new, but I think it actually works now for more apps.
Roughly.
Yeah.
You have to enable it in System UI, and then it's kind of still super broken. Doesn't work. Like it doesn't actually work, but it works. Like the pop-up will show up, but it doesn't. Like the YouTube won't play in there and stuff. But it's weird. But it'll be cool.
I'm pretty excited about autofill with Google. Did you see this thing?
Oh yes, everything will have autofill now potentially.
Yes, autofill. Basically, what it is autofill in apps. So the example they used on stage was, you want to log into the Twitter app. Chrome already knows your Twitter login, but the Twitter app doesn't. But autofill with Google,
so awesome.
You will be able to do it.
Yeah. So if you've logged into something on, whatever on Chrome, it's going to know that this app is that. So it's like super cool.
Yeah, that's
all awesome. These little refinements and things. And people always say like, well, I don't know how Android could get any better. I don't know how what new, you don't really think of this stuff, but trust me, you can always get better.
It's just little things that make your life easier. Like the next thing is smart text selection. So say you select a phone number and like the cut, copy, paste pop up, if you select a phone number, next to the cut copy paste will be a little phone icon, so you can just call that number. Or if you select a address, you'll see a little Google Maps icon, so you can just go to it in Maps. Like
So
a little
nice.
thing that is going to make it easier.
Make your life 100 times easier.
There's also this thing called Project Treble. I think that was what it was called, right?
Oh yeah, they're trying to separate some of the like framework and stuff from the OS so that um, manufacturers can potentially stick with updates a lot quicker and all that stuff. I guess we'll have to wait and see how that turns out. But from the sound of it, anything with Android O and forward, it's going to be a lot easier for manufacturers to just have their like version of OS on top of like a base version of Android, so that they can add all their fixins and the carriers can do all their stuff, but manufacturers can still update the base OS, which is pretty awesome.
What everybody wants.
Yeah. So like it could potentially, and every year there's always something where it could fix the fragmentation problem with Android. This could probably do that, maybe. Yeah, in theory.
There's also something called Vitals, which is something to like make your phone more secure and healthy, as they
Oh yeah, they had like a new, almost like an antivirus protection thing, which is kind of cool. Like it's like a little application, whatever, and you open it, and it can like scan all the apps you have installed on your phone, and check them to make sure they don't have any malware, they're not running anything malicious in the background, which is pretty nice because a lot of people use like on every, I think, T-Mobile phone, it comes pre-installed with Lookout. So every time you install an app, you might notice like it's always that initial install of all those apps.
I always disable Lookout.
Yeah, I immediately go in there and I'm like, oh crap, Lookout's doing its thing, and then I just like, yeah, disable, and it's way better. I trust Google way better than these other dumb little weird apps.
So we mentioned the emoji. Let's talk about the emoji quick. Are you a fan of the new emoji?
Yeah, yes and no. They're very close to iOS, but the colors are kind of weird, and they're like now this weird 3D shape. So I don't like the look of them, but I realize that it's necessary to keep emoji alive, or to sort of to further our emoji language, or whatever you want to call it. It's necessary. Like there needs to be a unified emoji system, and this is kind of the closest thing we're probably going to get to that. So it sucks because they kind of look ugly and a little weird, and people really hate them. But I agree. But it's almost identical to what they have on iOS, so you're not going to get any confusion with like emotions or.
Well, there is some. I mean, I saw an article today about. I think it was on The Verge. They wrote about how they like the blob emoji, and they had one example where one of the new emoji did not match up with all the other.
Did they? What?
It was grinning with two eyes shut, I think it was the emoji.
Ooh, that one's kind of a little bit weird as it is right now, though, because there's. I was just thinking about this yesterday. There's grinning with your eyes shut, and then there's grinning, and both of them look almost identical. They both have rosy cheeks, and I'm like, what the hell is the difference? But the descriptions of them are different. It's so bizarre, so weird. I'm gonna have to look at this article now.
Yeah. So I liked the blobs, but I also like the new emoji. My issue with it is more of like the animals and stuff that they've changed.
Yeah.
Like they made the bunny, like the bunny. This is another thing from the article. It looks like a bear because it doesn't have like long bunny ears. It has like these short little ears. It's like really weird. And they changed the dog, instead of just being like a generic little puppy that could fit, for any dog. They went and made it a Shiba, which is like a very specific breed. So now I'm like, okay, I don't have a Shiba. So this doesn't really match my dog anymore.
I guess there is still some work to be done. Yeah, I never really considered all that other weird stuff, but damn.
Yeah,
that sucks.
In general, I'm okay with it. Like the gradient thing.
I
Go
love
ahead.
the old design. The old design, like the flat little vector graphics, and they look so
Yes.
minimal and clean, and like I freaking love them.
Yeah, they said that the gradients in the outline was so that they would show up on any color background.
Mhm.
And I think they could have accomplished that with just the outline. I don't think
Yeah,
it needed the
yeah.
gradient.
No, yeah, they didn't need to make them 3D looking and all that weirdness, which doesn't even match material design. It doesn't
They're
match,
not really even 3D though. I mean, they're still flat. They're just flat with a gradient,
they're like
which is
shaded. I don't like how they're
yeah.
shaded, which is almost borderline skeuomorphic, but like it's I don't know. Every time I see them, like I get so startled now. Like what the hell? Like they have like a shading to their chin, so they look like they're whatever.
All right. So I think that's about it for Google I/O and Android O. We should get through some of this other news quick. HTC U11 was announced. This is the
Oh
successor to
my
the HTC 10.
god,
It basically looks like the HTC U Ultra, but more of a compact
smaller,
size.
and
Yeah.
it's gonna be great. I already know it.
Yeah, but it doesn't have a headphone jack.
Ah,
We'll talk more about that later, but
ah.
that sucks. Some just quick specs. Snapdragon 835. What's the screen size and camera, Chris?
I believe it's 5.5. Camera is I want to say 12 megapixels. If I'm not mistaken.
And I think it's a 3,000 milliamp hour battery.
Yeah, 3,000 milliamps. So pretty okay on the hardware stuff, but the camera is the first camera that can compete with the Google Pixel. It's
Or so they
absolutely
say.
insane. Yeah, so they say. We don't really know for a fact. I have seen the camera samples.
And they do look good, I will admit. Yes.
Whew, they look real good.
Cool.
Exciting.
LG G6 1 month later, I posted a little like follow-up review of my G6 and basically just reiterated everything I said in my original review. I've been using it for over a month and I still like it a lot. I like it more than the Galaxy S8.
Ooh, is it your daily driver?
It is my daily driver. I've had my SIM in it since I unboxed it. So yes. I won't talk anymore about that. You can watch the video if you want to hear me talk more about that. OnePlus 5 is probably not going to have a headphone jack either.
It may or may not.
May or may not, yes.
There was a weird tweet by Carl Pei, and he was saying, like, talking about why did the headphone jack cross the road, and people were freaking out. And then there was an earlier leak where someone took a picture of an alleged OnePlus 5, and it was missing the headphone jack on the bottom. It's entirely possible they just moved it onto the top, and maybe that's what he was saying by why did the headphone jack cross the road, like cross the phone. Nobody really knows for sure. And then he went on and he said, like, I mean, it was like maybe yesterday he tweeted something like, "Oh, I got to be more careful about what I tweet."
Yeah. It would be weird. I mean, the flagship killer phone that's supposed to have like everything imaginable, not having a headphone jack.
It's gonna happen. I mean, we're moving towards this. This is gonna be our future at some point. But I'm not ready.
We'll talk more about this in a little bit. We got an email question. Andy Rubin, his company Essential, they're going to be showing off something on May 30th. You may remember that he tweeted kind of like a teaser image of holding a phone with like very small bezel in the Arthur meme pose. So we still don't know what's going on with that, but we will know very soon. So Samsung got into some hot water because they changed something on the Galaxy S8 and people found out about it.
The storage file system that they used. It
yes,
was like
the storage file system. And basically they put in the fine print that anything from the Galaxy S8 could change pretty much. And then they went and changed.
They covered themselves. They covered their butts.
Yes, UFS 2.0. Do you want to quickly explain what that means, Chris? Because I'm not really sure.
It's a type of file system for storage or whatever, and it's like faster is always better. So the newer versions is always kind of the best. So they said originally it was 2.1, But it turns out a lot of phones, the regular S8 that was coming out, a lot of them here in the US or whatever, were 2.0. So it's like
Yes.
normal person's not going to notice any performance stuff, but there is a difference, and there is a more superior version, and it is kind of misleading when you have this listed as your spec, and it's not what you're delivering. So they quickly removed all references to the UFS 2.0 or 2.1 or any of that stuff from like the spec sheet, and they're just kind of like, oh, you don't know, just gotta.
Yeah. And if you have the S8 Plus, you don't got to worry about it. So
S8 Plus is good.
Also, Chris did a Galaxy S camera comparison recently. He compared the Galaxy S8, Galaxy S7, S6, and the S5. And to steal a line from BuzzFeed, the results will shock you. I actually just posted a video just today to go along with this. If you want to check it out.
Should I talk?
But yeah, why don't you give us a quick little teaser about what happened in this
a brief rundown of the results
that was not supposed to be like this when you had the idea.
Yeah, so when we first did it, it was just supposed to be kind of a quick just like showing the evolution of the Galaxy camera. And I, like everyone else that did reviews on the phone, I expected that the Galaxy S8 was going to be superior, or like vastly, maybe just at least a little bit, because it has a newer sensor. Turns out that wasn't the case. I actually preferred the Galaxy S6 photos in like all the daytime shots. Galaxy S6 had way more detail. It just looked a lot nicer to me. And yeah, it's not even as good as the S7. The S7 in low light actually did a little bit better than the Galaxy S8, which was kind of odd. So it's definitely not the best camera, not even the best Galaxy camera out there.
Yeah, and the main issue is the noise removal, right?
Yeah. So the Galaxy S8 just has incredibly aggressive, and this is probably just like a processing thing, and it's Samsung's own personal taste when it comes to photos, what they feel looks nice. When you take pictures of anything with any kind of fine details, they smooth out everything because they don't want any noise to be present. And when you take photos, you'll be like, oh, wow, there's absolutely no noise at all. But then, you kind of zoom in a little bit or you crop a photo. Everything is just like blurred out because they think everything might be noise, whether it's like concrete or fine textures and fabric or little hairs on a plant. They're just like, oh, is that noise? I'm not sure. Blah, 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 and they just smooth everything out. So it's like it kind of sucks because the Galaxy
actually makes that sound too. It's crazy.
Every time you take a photo. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, so definitely check out that post that we have because it's pretty interesting. Last little thing here, Pokemon Go. Niantic found a cool way to mess with cheaters. If you are a cheater and Niantic suspects it from anything like GPS spoofing or whatever it may be, you get put in purgatory, pretty much.
So cool. So like I had originally written a post when Pokemon Go first came out, like 18 things Pokemon Go needs to change. Stat. Like now they need to change this stuff. And one of them was the whole like cheaters and fixing the cheating system. And I suggested in that post that they put cheaters in their own version of the game and like kind of keep them in this weird purgatory where they get, they're playing with other cheaters and it's just not, whatever, like some kind of handicapped version of the game. And it turns out that's exactly what they're doing. Apparently, if they suspect you of cheating, you're not going to see any really cool Pokemon. You're going to get nothing but Pidgeys and Rattatas and that weird little bulldog.
Caterpies and
pink little bulldog, man.
Yeah.
Mr. Bulldops. It's like it's awesome. And it's a great way to just troll people because I'm sure it's been happening for a while and no one kind of figured it out till recently.
It's pretty much like a shadow ban, really. It's like you're still playing, you're still participating, but not really.
To me, that's the best way to handle almost anything because this keeps people from like just opening a new account and then starting to try to cheat again and stuff. This way, they're just playing and it's maybe like weeks, months have gone by and they're just like, wait a minute.
People will probably, if you play the game a lot, you probably would notice pretty quick that you're not seeing anything good.
Especially if you're with somebody maybe that's like, maybe.
There's
you're
a
playing with somebody.
Charizard right here, man. It's like, what? I just got a Pidgey.
But usually spoofers are in their house and they're just spoofing anyway, so they're not around anybody and they don't really know. So yeah, I
That's
don't
a
know.
good point. All right. So we're going to do an email question before we get into our wins and fails and stuff. This is from our good friend, Jerry. He says, how important to you is having the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack on your phone? And how much longer do you think it survives on flagships? From my cold, dead hands. So yeah, it's weird. I mean, we've talked about this a lot, obviously. But it's kind of weird because, Chris was just saying a little bit ago that we're going in that direction. But kind of not as fast as I thought, because you look at just this year, the Galaxy S8 has a headphone jack, the G6 has a headphone jack. So like these big players are sticking with the headphone jack, but then like HTC, Motorola, like those guys are ditching it.
The guys that can't afford, this is what makes me mad. The guys that can't afford to like remove it
Yes.
are removing it. Like these guys need to make sure their phones are like anything they can do to like one up the iPhone or the Galaxy or whatever. But like, I just don't get why all these other small companies are doing it. I mean, is there like a ton of money to save by removing the aux port? Maybe that like 3 cents per device is like really adds up in the long run. I don't know, but it's ridiculous. I just want to say bravo to freaking Samsung for keeping it though. I mean, they really could have just removed it and probably gotten away with it. But the fact that they kept it, it's like it's keeping it alive. It's keeping the dream of the 3.5.
I was really nervous that they were going to get rid of it, because if they would have, then everybody would have just
without a doubt.
Two biggest phones in the world don't have it. We're screwed. We're done.
And that very well may happen. I mean, next year we might see something different. I mean, who knows? But I mean, you're definitely going to see the next iPhone not have it again. So
yeah, I actually saw a rumor that they were gonna add it back, and I was like,
no.
It wasn't from a solid source. I was like, you're fooling yourself if you think that.
Not gonna happen.
Jerry's actually in our live chat right now, and he's asking, do you think it's to make room for other things? That's what they always say.
Yeah,
but that's clearly not a legitimate.
The only case that I've seen this is with the Moto Z, which is so stupid thin. They literally can only fit a Type C. Like that's the only time.
In that case, it's like no one was mad that the phone was thick before, so it's not like it was a crucial thing to get the phone thinner.
Yeah, I mean, you can keep your phone. I mean, like we've hit a point where as thin as your phone can get would be like the headphone jack. Just keep it that thin. That's thin enough, and then you can just increase the battery size or like do something else with the space. I don't know. So ridiculous.
Yeah. So I guess getting back to the actual question, how important is it to you? Like, I think you bought the HTC U11, right?
Yeah, I did. I bought the U11. I had the Moto Z, and I was using the Moto Z as my daily driver for a long time. And every time I would need to plug that stupid phone in, I would curse the heavens above. I would have to carry the dongle around with me, and it just sucked because the phone's battery life was, only so as it was, and then now I couldn't charge and listen to music with the headphone jack, and it's like, it's annoying. It's annoying, and I don't always want to connect to Bluetooth stuff. And I have tons of really good wired headphones. I have some okay Bluetooth headphones, but you got to remember to charge those. I mean, it's just like that's just another hassle, another thing we shouldn't have to really think about or worry about.
I'm at the point too where I have a couple Bluetooth headphones now. I have these. I have like a nice pair of Bluetooth earbuds. I have some Bluetooth speakers in my house. But yeah, I don't think I would buy. I'm not at a point yet where I want a phone as my daily driver that doesn't have a headphone jack.
Yeah, I can totally see if someone out there is like, I will not buy a phone that doesn't have, I totally understand. I don't know if I'm there. I mean, obviously I bought the HTC U11, but I'm not really there where I just I'll immediately dismiss it. It's not a make or break thing for me, but I will admit it sucks. Definitely sucks.
For sure. So thanks for the email question, Jerry. If anyone else wants to send us emails, our address is podcast@phandroid.com. So getting into our wins and fails, I have 1 win and 2 fails. Just pretty quickly, my win is going to be the DJI Spark. which if you saw is like a new drone. It's a mini drone. It's about the size of a soda can, which is pretty crazy. And it still has like a lot of the cool DJI features to help you fly it and stuff. Obviously, it's a lot lighter than like the Mavic, which is pretty small itself. So, you're probably not going to have the greatest stability if you're like flying in wind compared to a bigger drone, but it's nice and small. It's only $499, which is by far DJI's cheapest drone.
Ooh, does it have a camera, a 4K camera built into it or anything like that?
Yeah, I think it's a 4K camera. The gimbal is not as good as the other ones. It only has a 2-axis gimbal. So yeah. I mean, there are definitely some drawbacks, but it's a lot cheaper and it's a lot smaller. So that's something that I'm interested in.
Yes.
Probably not going to buy it right away, but I'm just really happy to see the drone market starting to go smaller and cheaper.
That's the sweet spot for me. Is I feel like that size. I always wanted a drone, and I think it would be really fun to have one, but I can never. I'm not going to carry around a giant briefcase with like huge controller, and I'm sitting like, no, I'll wait to the smaller ones.
It's getting to the point now where I wouldn't be surprised if I have a drone like within the next year.
Yeah. Same.
And then my 2 fails. I just saw this on a random YouTube ad the other day. There is a game show coming out that is based on the app Shazam.
What?
Did you hear about this?
Shazam.
It's called oh shoot, I forgot what it's called. But the premise of the game is you have to identify a song before Shazam. It's called Beat Shazam. That's what it's called. So you have to.
Jamie Foxx. Jamie Foxx is the host.
Yeah, Jamie Foxx is the host, and so I guess the premise is they play a song, and then like Shazam is listening, and you have to identify it before the app does.
How do you? It identifies it within like not even 2 seconds most of the time. I mean, it's.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I just saw a commercial, but I was just like, really? Is this a game show now? Or we're just competing against apps and game shows? It could be funny or fun, but I just was like, wow, that's crazy.
It sounds ridiculous. I don't know what could the content be? I mean, just a guy stands up there and they play a song and he just tries to guess the song.
Yeah, is that really that exciting to watch?
I mean,
you're right, though. They would almost have to put Shazam at like a 10-second delay at least.
Or maybe someone plays someone else plays music, and then they have to like this way. Shazam doesn't really know, and they kind of have to. I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah.
What is Jamie Foxx doing? That's what I want to know. Wasn't he like an Oscar?
He's getting paid, man. That's what he's doing.
He's getting that money.
My second fail is going to be Twitter. I had enough with Twitter. I quit a Twitter app. I didn't quit Twitter. I quit the official Twitter app. I was getting so many freaking in case you missed it recommendations.
That's all I get now, pretty much.
Like it was like they flipped a switch and made it appear like 10 times as often. I would literally open the app, see it, click the little thing to see less often. And like 5 minutes later, I would open the app again and it would be there again.
I thought mine's always like 3 tweets in. Like I go 3 tweets of real-time tweets, like whatever is most recent. And then in case you miss it. And this is what I hate about it is like sometimes I'll reply or like respond to something. And it's like a tweet some dude did from like 3 days ago or something. I'm like, oh, sorry, I'm just now seeing this. Like,
it's terrible. I have clicked that see less often thing so many times, and it literally does nothing.
Yeah,
it literally does nothing. So
that's all I see is that stupid thing. Yeah,
I got fed up. I quit. I'm using Flamingo now.
Oh, that's amazing.
Flamingo is a great app. The only thing that it doesn't have, which no third parties have, is the ability to see polls, which is not that big of a deal. Like polls are not like
it's a good thing nobody uses them.
Yeah. So I guess like in the Twitter API, like it doesn't even like they can't even show that it is a poll.
Yeah, that's what the only thing that's kind of annoying, because I wouldn't mind them like not being able to interact, but at least seeing there's a poll there, and if I need to, I can open up the real Twitter app to interact.
Exactly. It just shows up as a regular tweet, so you have no idea if there's a poll or what. So, yeah, that's kind of annoying. But everything else, I mean, it has. You can see GIFs, you can see videos, you can photos. It shows links.
So many settings. Like you can tweak this app to like, I mean, your heart's content. It's crazy.
It's cool. I like it a lot.
Yeah.
All right, what do you got, Chris?
Oh shoot.
Battery case.
Ooh, yeah. So my win for the week is going to be the Galaxy S8 battery case. So battery life on the Galaxy S8 really sucks. The small one. It's actually really, really bad. It even in standby mode, it like drops faster than any phone that I have. I don't know what's going on with it, but it really sucks. So you need something to kind of keep it juiced up on the go. And I found these super inexpensive. It's only like $32 with this promo code. I think it's $40 normally. 5,000 milliamp hour battery cases for the Galaxy S8. And it's so much more convenient. Like battery cases are kind of, I always felt kind of silly because they look silly. I mean, you add like this thick, I think I have it right here.
Chunky.
Super chunky case. But it's kind of worth it, and there are some like use cases. So if you're you're gonna be out all day, you can kind of just put one of these in your backpack or your purse or whatever. And if you're gonna spend all day out, hiking or at Disneyland or some place where you're gonna be away from a charger for an extended period of time, and then you can just take it with you and then stick your phone inside, and when you need to, charge it up. So it's 5,000 milliamp hours. It gives you about a complete full charge on the Galaxy S8, and then it takes you to about 30% again. So that's kind of nice. Yeah, that's kind of it. It's super generic, super simple. I know Mophie makes their own battery cases that are probably a little bit better quality, but those are $100. So you could potentially get like 3 of these for less than the price of a Mophie. So you can get these for like your whole family, and it's awesome, because the last thing you want to do is when you're on a trip or you're on an outing where you're going to be away from the charger, you don't want to have to think about, shoot, if I shoot 4K video, this is going to like destroy my battery life, and I'm not going to be able to take pictures later on, or whatever. And you could always use a portable battery charger with the USB cable and have it tethered, like a, what do you call those, chain wallet sort of deal. But like, it's just not. I mean, you got to remember to bring the cable. You got to carry a giant battery pack. This is like a lot more streamlined, nice, one little package. And for $32, it's actually pretty amazing. So that's my win.
This is what's crazy to me about, manufacturers making phones thinner and thinner and thinner and batteries getting smaller. People actually go out and buy these packs that make their phones ginormous so they can have battery life.
And they have no problem with it. It takes me back.
A couple extra millimeters is not a big deal.
Yeah, seriously, just throw like an extra 2 millimeters in there. I mean, it's obvious that nobody wants that. It's manufacturers competing with themselves, and it's silly because it's not a consumer want anyway. But my fail for the week is going to be the G6. I got the G6 over the weekend, and I am not happy. I am not happy, Joseph, with the battery. Not the battery life, the performance. It's like noticeably slower than the S8, and it just sort of bothers me to the point where I'm not even sure I can make it my daily anymore.
Someone tweeted at you that theirs improved after they did
they had an update, which they said they improved it, and then they did a whole wiping the cache thing and doing so. Maybe I'll do that, but I mean, I got it after the update, and I mean, it was freshly factory reset and all that, so I don't think really it improves it. And then I was watching your video, I mean, like the speed test with the S8, and you can see it there. And this is something you kind of mentioned yourself, but like there's almost a self-imposed delay when you open apps and stuff with the G6. You hit the home button, you hit the back button, you do the recents, you open an app. There's like this, the app flashes and then it does something. And I was talking to some guy who's like an app developer, and he says, a lot of times some developers or manufacturers, whatever, they'll put a little delay in there so that people know what's happening for like the everyday, the casual user. Things aren't happening too quickly. So I mean, maybe that's it. I don't know. But
did you do the developer speed up thing?
Yeah, so I increased all
Okay.
the transition times and all that stuff. So it's not really a transitional thing. It's more of just this little weird like half second delay. And there's some phones that do it too. My Moto Z does a similar thing where like you tap it and then it waits like a second and then opens it. And I will say that I do love the S8 because the S8 doesn't have that problem. Even when returning to apps and RAM and stuff, it's like completely instant. There's only phones I really know that do that are like the Pixel, the S8 is really quick. Usually like stock Android devices are, but it sounds like a weird thing to bother me. But it's just like I always feel like there's I'm used to like clicking apps and know where I'm clicking almost before the transition happens. And then as soon as I'm already clicking into things, I'm just like I'm freaking clicking mad. But I can't do that with the G6. I'm always like clicking, waiting, clicking, waiting, clicking. It's just it slows me down. It slows me down. So
To each their own, I guess. It doesn't bother me. And like when I switch from the S8 to the G6, I don't feel like I'm using a super slow phone.
yeah, now I feel like maybe I should just wipe the cache or something. Because the V20, on the other hand, the LG V20, which I was using for a very long time, doesn't have that issue. It's like super speedy and quick. And this is just a newer version of the V20, kind of a smaller version. So I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, that's my fail.
All right, app picks. Magikarp Jump is a new
Ah,
Pokemon game that just came out
I just
today.
downloaded it. I haven't played it
Yeah,
though.
for iOS and Android. I played it for a couple minutes, and it's I don't. It's really hard to explain this game. It's like you basically get a Magikarp, and then you have to train the Magikarp to get better and better. And so you like feed it food, you do training, and then you do battles against other Magikarps. And the battles consist of seeing how high the Magikarp can jump, and whatever one jumps the highest wins.
This sounds weird. This sounds very
Yeah,
weird.
it's a very weird game. I don't know if I'm going to be playing it a lot, but
Dude,
it's
I saw
cute.
somebody was saying that it's better than Pokemon Go, and people were
Oh,
retweeting it.
heck no. Are you no. I still play Pokemon Go occasionally. I am not going to be playing this game a year from now. I can tell you that.
That's funny.
But if you're into Pokemon, you will probably get a kick out of it. Really really good art, and it looks good. But yeah, I'm not fully into it yet, at least.
I gotta try it out.
Do you have an app pick?
I mean, I guess I could just make it Aloe. If you haven't tried Aloe in a while,
App pick is Aloe.
I think you should try it out. I think everybody should. You have there. It's getting better. They recently added like the ability to take a selfie and it'll convert you into your own emoji with like all these different expressions. It's kind of like Bitmoji on Snapchat. So that's kind of cool. You can back up your conversations now, so you can use it with multiple devices if you need to. It's really fun. I mean, I have a couple of friends now that have started using it, and then now my whole family's on there, so I'm using it a lot more, and it's kind of fun. It's kind of interesting. I would rather use Hangouts to be honest, but it's not even like Hangouts isn't even really installed on new devices anymore. You have to like
Yeah.
download it. So
I will say, like, I would love a new messaging app. Like, I'm pretty happy with Facebook Messenger now that I switched to the light version. Um, but I really just have no desire to switch people to another messaging app. Like, if I did start using another one, I would just get my wife to use it, and then I would just keep Facebook installed for like everybody else that uses it. Like, I really am not going to go around and be like, hey, use this app. I just don't want to do that.
yeah, it's kind of annoying, and I don't know. I don't know what would happen if Google finally pulls the plug on Hangouts. I don't know if they ever will do that, but yeah, it just kind of sucks. And they recently removed what was it? They finally pulled the plug on SMS support, so you can't use it as your default SMS app anymore. Um, it's happening, man. Hangouts is on live support, so we gotta transition to something.
Do you use anything fancy for SMS, or you just use Android messages?
I use Android messages, and what I should be using is Google Voice because it looks a lot nicer now. It's like super clean. They finally updated the app, so maybe I'll just start using Google Voice again for all that. And then yeah, I just use Android messages, but I never send text messages to anybody. I
Yeah,
can't.
same. The only text messages I get are like two-factor
Yeah, that's
authentication
it. That
stuff.
and like what is like rewards? Like I have this like rewards with restaurants, and they always send me like coupons and stuff. So that's it.
Yeah.
Those just bots and
And yeah, I
two-factor
always
authentication.
keep SMS on my main home screen.
Yeah, there's no reason to.
Yep. All right. I think that's going to wrap it up for this week. Thanks everybody in the live chat. Someone wants to know our opinion of the upcoming OnePlus 5, but I don't think we really know that much about it yet to have an opinion on it. So maybe in an upcoming episode we can talk about that. But if you want to email us like Jerry did, our podcast, our address is podcast@phandroid.com. You can also send us tweets at Mobile Roarcast. We look at those too. And the audio version of the podcast comes out on Fridays on Google Play, TuneIn Radio, Stitcher Radio, and iTunes, Pocket Cast, like whatever podcasting app you use. We're there. And we're also all on Twitter. Chris is at GamerCore. Ashley's at Overlord Roar. I'm at Tall Shmo. And we will see y'all next time. Later.